Yeah, I just couldn't get StreamYard, just refuses to work on my laptop today. So I will be getting a new different laptop for next week. Yeah, just as soon as I try to start the program, it just endlessly crashes. So it's a bummer. I go on just to keep the routine. Yeah, I've been desperately needing to replace that laptop for a while, so or we'll get a different setup. Yeah. I've been here for maybe an hour or so. I got some cleanup to do still. Hold on, let me get something real quick. Well, I can't even plug my mic in because my phone needs to charge. So. Let me see if I can. Hey Nick, the radial arm is going well. It just needs to be, I got to move it about 3 foot. Once we get once my phone charges here a bit, I'll go show it to you guys. I just need to move it a bit so it'll clear the rafters in every position it will be in. That's the head, arms all the way up. Yeah, so I took the tombstone off it so I could make it a little bit lighter. I got it hooked to the back wall with a chain right now. Just need to move it that last little bit. And then I need to move the Kearney Trekker 2D mill about 3 feet as well. It's just annoying because I have to swap all the come-alongs and everything. But no biggie. Oop, almost clicked the wrong button there. Yeah. Weather's gotten a lot nicer now, so I'll probably finish stripping most of the paint off that Brown and Sharp number 3 milling machine today and get it in. I do constantly move stuff. I've mastered it. And actually, get yourself that couple sheets at UHMW. It's real easy to move stuff. Well, not real easy, but easy, comparatively for how much the stuff weighs. And thankfully in my shop, there's one of the main beams right in the middle of the back. So I have a strap around the base of it, and that has been the main source of the pulling. That's been real handy. So yeah. Getting rid of that little rolly cart I made to move the lathe chucks around. Takes up too much room. I always just keep the chucks by the machines themselves. That was a fun little project, but I would rather have the floor space. Yep, just need to check very regularly. I go twice a week. Yeah, won't have much going on in my shop this week. I got startup water for residential at my day job, so I'll be on call for that all week, and it'll be busy. I'm sure of it. That's fine. I got the last little bit of cleaning to do in here. Got another plastic welding job to do. That welder around the tank came out really well. I actually need to put that back on the machine to get it out of here. As far as equipment purchases, I did get one thing. Let me go get it real quick. Okay, I'm back. And Cody at Hidden Forge bought this big boring head. It's got a threaded shank on it, and it's oh, don't remember the brand name on it. That'll be handy on the big milling machine once it's up and going. And yeah, it's looking at, didn't go yard selling this week. We had a side job to do. What else? Moving stuff, stripping paint, doing some work outside my shop. I got approval to put my jib crane in. So I've been collecting broken hunks of concrete for a while now, and I got them stashed. And that way when I make the base for the jib crane, I need mass, and concrete's expensive. So sink, I'm going to use a 6-inch Schedule 80 steel pipe as my mast. It'll be set into a big old huge block of concrete. I'm going to cut away a section of the driveway. I got to do the math on it. I got a engineer buddy who's doing I want to be able to lift 2 ton at probably 12 or 14 foot. So he's doing all that measurement stuff. Then we'll have a swinging I-beam for the trolley, for the manual chain fall. Hi, Marcel. Yeah, I have that. So I can easier to unload stuff than using the forklifts or the tractors. And for managing, I do all my welding outside my shop, right out front. So that'd be nice for lifting and rotating heavy weldments and stuff like that. So getting that jib crane out there will be a very nice addition. So I'm trying to figure out where I want it, how close to the door. Yeah, and I got a gantry crane out there, and I need to make it like 4 inches wider because most trailers, it rubs on the wheels. Height-wise, it's pretty good. It's probably 15 foot tall, and I'll have the jib crane's arm probably at probably 16 foot. And I do have in my shed back there an electric, I don't know if it's a Yoast or a budget, an electric 1-ton hoist, but I'll put this a manual chain fall on it. Have a little more control, plus it's cheaper and I have it, so don't have to mess with it. Yeah, that'll really help. Had the metal for a while, just time to do it, but I need to make that a priority. It won't be, I'm not going to make it heavy enough to lift machines off of trailers, just to lift heavy parts. So a 2-ton will be far, far more than I'd likely ever lift with it. So mostly, 50 horse pumps and stuff like that. Or 50 horse electric motor is heavy. If we're taking parts off stuff. It'll be nice because I do a lot of bucket repair work. And they're, especially backhoe buckets, are kind of a pain to manipulate when you're putting new teeth on them or re-earing them, which is mostly what I do. We have a large, small farming area, and they buy buckets at machines and just, convert them. A lot of times doesn't take much. Sometimes it cut all the old ears off and cut out new ones out of plate and all that. No biggie, just a lot of welding. Then I need to make a small crane that's going to go on the LeBlanc. It's going to come up from the back, just a small, probably 2-inch I-beam, basically for undoing the chuck, swinging the chuck out of the way or putting some bigger stuff in the chuck. But I only need, just a couple hundred pounds. I got a buddy that has a lathe about the same size as a LeBlanc, and he has this I-beam that goes the whole length of it. But he does a lot of long shafting, and I don't do a lot of that. So I don't think I need to go that far with it, but I might. Because all I would do then is run the beam all the way to the very end, have it rest on the back of the bed. It'd probably be easier to do that. Because a lot of the times, if the ways are wide enough, like I keep a chuck on the back end of on the ways. So I'll look into that. I might do that actually. Because I'm trying to be better about not lifting things I shouldn't be lifting, which I still do all the time. But hold on. But yeah. Then I'm getting rid of at least one of the 3-phase MIG machines. The Miller 3-phase power source is going to go bye-bye. And that's it. I think I can't get rid of that little Miller dial arc. I love that machine. I like it for stick welding more than my Miller 330 BP. It's the same one like A-Bomb has, and a couple other people have. I love that dial art. And then the Lindy is going to be set up for exclusively dual shield. That's cool. Yeah, run it strictly dual shield. Right. I got a normal 220 Hobart MIG for my other MIG work. Most I do stick, so. Then my buddy came and looked at the plasma cutter table, the CNC plasma table. So I got model numbers off it. So I'm going to contact, I think it's Plasma Cam is the maker, and see if I can get the drivers for it. That's really all I need now in a plasma cutter. But he said he doesn't know how they'll be about just sending me the drivers for it, since I'm not the original purchaser. And then I did a little research in forums, and it may just be people with bad experiences. I said that they're not the easiest people to deal with for getting support for their older machines. I mean, I have no problem paying. If they want me to send them some money for the driver and stuff, I have no problem with that. But hey, Tom. Yeah, I'd really like to get that plasma table going. It's set up. It's in the back on my covered patio. Oh, for sure, Brandon. No problem. So my covered back patio, like my barbecue and stuff is, that's where the big 3-phase 24-inch wheel grinder is going to go. The CNC plasma table. I'm going to move the Johnson bandsaw out there, and I've already started building a steel rack. And then I'm going to put probably one of the drill presses out there just in case. Like annoying stuff like when you're using big hole saws on the drills, they're noisy and smoky, and I maybe move one out there. I have plenty of drill presses to go around, so throwing one out there ain't going to be a problem. And that'll be covered, and you know there's a concrete slab out there. I don't entertain very often, so I'd rather use that space instead of putting like lawn furniture on it. I was make it another part of the machine shop. Then if I get another cold saw, I'll put it out there, or another bandsaw, I'll put it out there. I was looking at don't remember the name, it's Japanese, it's a hydraulic horizontal bandsaw. It has all the tons of buttons on it. All the nothing's in English, and we don't have a book on it. It has a few electrical issues. You have to physically push in the contactors to get a few things to go, so there's some switching problems. And so it'll be a lot of chasing wiring and marking it and making up my own diagrams, because we can't find anything on it. It gets addicting ordering that stuff, but it's so nice to have. I'm actually thinking about getting another one of the pull-out aerosol can dispensers, and I'd like to get another probably 10 pull-out drawers and racks. That's the best way to organize stuff. It's not the most it's not the cheapest way to do it by far margin, but it's easy to justify, and I should do a video on it. There's lots of different, what do they call it? Vendor managed inventory, or even just going through a company for stuff like that. Yes, you do pay more. You pay sometimes 3 times more for the bolts and nuts and all that stuff. But you get a big variety, and especially when you're when you're one-man band, going and getting nuts and bolts is is costly. You know, the nearest good bolt place to me is a 20-minute drive. So if I need a few bolts or O-rings or something for a project, you know, that's 20 minutes there, 20 minutes at the place, 20 minutes back. That stuff can kill your productivity. So I noticed, because I do a lot of pump work and sprayer work, so I started buying all the O-rings, and then I was able to get so much more work done, billable work, and then having that stuff on hand too, when someone brings stuff in after hours or on the weekend, it's nice to have that stockpile, because then you get the reputation of, hey, he'll be able to help you out, you know, Sunday night, you know, get something out on the field Monday. So yes, it is very expensive, but it if you're doing it in a job type setting, it definitely pays for itself. Yeah, I carry very little metric stuff. I've got one bolt bin that I've been slowly building, but I don't do a lot of, when I have to build stuff, I just use standard stuff, of course, but I am slowly building up my metric fasteners, metric socket head cap screws, stuff like that. Yeah, like I said, next weekend I will have a different setup here so I can have guests on there again. That was awesome. But the laptop I was using is subpar. We'll put it that way. Then StreamYard was having none of it today. So yeah, this will be a pretty sweet addition. I've got this for $100 from Cody at Hidden World Forge. Number 31 Easy Set. Pretty decent sized boring bar in there. You know, I can put my thumb in there. So I'm sure it'll take a 1-inch bar. And this is the kind you twist this. And it makes that go in and out. It doesn't have the, more like the Criterion style. It turns off with this ring. Yeah, it was nice, because I have one an R8 shaft. It's really small, and then this. I need to pick up some more intermediate ones. And he sold me that one because he bought it was super nice. I don't remember the brand. A big boring head. I mean, the body of it was like that. Yeah, I need to pick up more tooling. Yeah. We have some good industrial suppliers. That sounds very familiar. I think that's what it is. We used to have an awesome belt and bearing place, but they got bought out by Motion, and it went very downhill after that. Hey, Nancy. There hasn't been many machinist stuff at auctions lately. There's been machines. I'm really not looking at machines right now. There's a Colchester. There's one's the variable drive on them. Yeah, I want like $3,000 for it. And there's something wrong with it too. I'm not looking at machines right now. I did miss a pallet because I don't know how I missed it of 50 taper tools, tool holders. There's probably a dozen in the crate. The crate went for $50. And I was there at the auction inspecting stuff, and I don't know how I missed it. My buddy sent me a picture. He's like, "Did you bid on those?" I was like, "I didn't even see those." So I need some 50 taper tooling for the Brown & Sharp number 3 mill. It has a 50 taper to 40 taper adapter in it right now, I believe. Then you get more 40 taper stuff for the Van Norman's back there. Yeah. Tom, where do you order your end mills through? And checking out new places for end mills. Oh, that'd be super awesome. That's where I've been getting a lot of mine too. Especially, I've been really upsizing my horizontal milling cutter slightly. And they've gone up a lot on there. You used to be able to get, shoebox horizontal milling cutters for 30, $40. So what I call Cactus Tools. Let me note that here. Okay, I will check them out. Yeah, I used to get a lot of horizontal milling cutters. And gear cutters, even on eBay, they're getting up there. I don't have many of those, so I always look to see if I can find them cheap. And I think a couple more big I would do that. I need to pick up a couple more big drill bits. Let me go grab them real quick, because one of them needs a little bit of sharpening. And for $5, I picked up this. Set this one down. Oh, what size is it? Inch and 21/32. It's in pretty good shape. And for $3, sorry about that. Got this guy. Needs a little bit of work there on the end. It's 1 inch 7/8. Chicago. So I'm going to sharpen this. I don't have my big drill grinder going yet. So I might start this on the big wheel grinder, because obviously it has a ways to go. Someone actually, hey Mike, sharpened it. You know, cut almost like a relief in there. I mean, it's not really flat. I don't know if they were using it like that. Hey, Rustanox. So I don't know. I'm sure it didn't break, taper like that. That's obviously been ground in there. So I don't know if they were using it like to clean up the bottom of a hole or something. Yeah, belt sander would work. There's a fair bit of grinding to do on that guy. I have a big gap in my drill bits between, probably I get up good up to 1.5 inches, and then from there I only have them by probably maybe 1/8 inch up to about 2.5. And now that I got the big radial, I want to flush out my drill bits, and I've been looking at getting more into spade bits, but I've never really ran them. My buddy at his shop, he runs them a lot. He's doing a lot of pad eyes and lifting eyes and stuff like that. So, but I've personally never really ran the spade bits. I have a couple of those carbide insert drill bits, but I've never used those yet either. Because the ones I have are smaller. It is I want to say it's a number 4. I would have to double check that. These I got for these are 5s. So they'll fit in my little blonde. And the blonde has a through tailstock. Hey, Brian. You know, there's nothing to catch a tang or anything in it. Yeah, I'm thinking it's number 5 too. Now that I look at those. So yeah, and the blonde, when you put a drill, you know, I'm going to have to really clean these up. Because there's nothing to catch a tang on there. I haven't spun anything in it yet. I haven't used the number 5 reamer. I lightly went in there when I first got it. I haven't seen a lot of very big machines. It's just weird that the tailstock is just a tube. You can see completely through it. I guess if you were doing, because you wouldn't do through cooling through something that old, I don't think. The lathe is from the 40s. I don't know. The blonde's been chugging along. I need to change where the filter thing is, the filter screen in the back of it's been leaking. If I use it for like an hour straight, it starts dripping out of the back, so I need to clean that out anyway. But there's obviously going to be a seal in there that's not so good. Probably due for its first oil change since I've had it too. Oh, I can sharpen it. On button. Oh, then got these off eBay recently. It's another set of these extractors that are like this. And these are my favorite large broken bolt extractors. See, they wind up very coil in very quick. They're very stout, and I've never broke one. Even the smaller ones, they really get aggressive really quick. They're made by Walton. When these come up, they're not particularly cheap, but they're awesome on broken bolts. I think on pipe, I don't use as aggressive ones because that really pushes out. Especially at my day job, I do a lot of stuff on broken pipe, so. Hello. Like I was telling you before, Wonders Machine Shop. Next week we'll do I gotta get a different computer that'll run StreamYard and stuff. It just wasn't cutting it today. Or if you or find something else though. I'll get a computer. I've needed to update a computer forever. My standard computer still has Windows XP on it, and you have to leave the case off it, or else none of the fans work, so it overheats. I've been long overdue for a computer, so I will do that. Yeah, probably. I don't know if I'll take the stub out of it and make a different kind of, shaft there. I don't know. We'll get her in service. That'll be handy for a few things. For many, many things. I did get... Customer gave me... Let me get in here. Under some stuff. This thing. It's got tapered end. This is for doing yeah, that'd be cool. This is for doing truck axles. There's a little bushing there. He gave me a whole bunch of cutters with it. Oh yeah, Tom. Thank you very much for stopping by. Very cool. Yeah, that's a cool reamer. Big one too. He's got some truck axles he wants me to look at. So he's a cool customer in that he wants to do a lot of his own stuff, and he does. He's not scared to try anything. So when he buys something to fix something and he can't do it, he just gives me all the tooling that he buys to do it and says, "Here, now you do it." So he's a really cool guy. I'm going to start needing the word of mouth of my work to spread, because unfortunately a lot of my customers are getting up there in age. Yeah, and then, the big Camelback, I'm going to rig it as a big boring machine. I don't know if I ever showed it on my 20-inch Camelback, It came with the line boring setup. It had the taper shank bar, and it had a guide that went in the table, and two supports that came up. It made a pretty decently rigid setup. But I've been looking at that big, because since I got the radial arm drill, the 34-inch Camelback, I love Camelback drills. I don't want to get rid of it. So yeah, I'm going to cut and thread an insert. That'll go into the middle table, and I'll do a video on this coming up shortly. And make a boring bar, adjustable with this high-speed bits with, square slots. Because that machine has a pretty decent stroke to it. And it's pretty rigid for a, it's got the support for the quill is on, it's on two dovetails and everything. It's a very, very rigid, stout machine, especially with some reinforcement. Because I do these little gearboxes for brush hogs. And there's a farm repair place not far from me, and every time they redo their brush hogs, they send me the box. And I've been doing it. They're small enough you can do them on the lathe. But they got some other ones. So I'd like to see about rigging up the setup for that. Because they're a little irritating to dial in because they're very odd shaped on the outside. But they're perfectly flat on both sides. So they would sit flat on the drill press table, and then I could just center it and clamp it down. So yeah, I think I'm going to figure out a setup for that. Because there are some longer ones, and then you have to get to the middle, your bar has to be pretty long. So I want to find a good use for the big radial arm or Camelback drill press so it can stay in the shop. For stuff to stay in my shop, it has to have a use. I'm done with the just hoarding stuff to hoard stuff. I've really cut down a lot of stuff in here. But I do have a lot of drill presses because I like drill presses. Okay, Brandon. And when I do those like plate mounts and stuff, I set up a starter bit in one drill press, and then the other drill press right next to it has the finished drill, and then I have one drill press that all it has is a chamfering tool in it. That's all it's ever had, and it's also hooked up to a foot switch. So I'm carrying stuff over to it. I just slap it on the table, pull it down. It's one of those Harbor Freight foot switches, but I've had it for a couple of years. Seems fine to me. Yeah, things are getting tight in here. And so machines have to serve a purpose. And with moving some stuff out to the outside, that'll help. This guy, I really wish I could find a place outside. This is my 100-ton hydraulic press. It's too tall to fit under my covered porch. I don't want to just leave it outside uncovered. It takes up a lot of room. I need to go through my toolbox too. The top of my toolbox is probably like the top of most people's toolboxes. That's one thing I've never been able to spend money on is toolboxes. I go to setups like this to help manage the hoard. It is a lot, and I'm looking for I'd like to get like a 50-ton. Because that press, even when you turn it down, it has no feel. It's either, it just goes down, and either the part gets in or pushed out, or it stops momentarily, and then that said part explodes. So, then behind it, I keep all the organized part of the hoard that I'm still working on. There's a lot of weight on the shelf. That's all. Pin spanners, punches, drifts, pliers, needle nose pliers, files, and I have probably twice that many files sitting in 5-gallon buckets outside. Grease guns, days of yore wrenches, impact socket sets. These are all like oil cans and all a bunch of nonsense. Chain stuff, battery stuff, tire stuff. And then in my shed I keep stuff I give away. And I give away a lot of tools to people. So. Yeah, then for these bigger drill bits, yep, I need to come up with some kind of rack. They're too big to put into like a rack like my small ones. So I'm trying to find a wall, make the shelves that aren't flat but kick down just a bit and have these sit in dividers. The thing about making stuff like that is I never make enough dividers. And stuff like that can even get taken up space real quick, real fast. I actually think about taking PVC pipe and putting them underneath the bed of the lathe, slanted in more towards the tailstock side where like cutting oil and stuff wouldn't get down in there. We'll see. And I need to trying to find more organized ways to store stuff has been a big part of cleaning up the shop. Back here, that's where all the hammers are. And there's 110 of them up there. These are very deep sometimes. And I got most of my common wrenches. Way too many up here. There's 300 standard wrenches on here. But I can get to them. Oh, I cannot believe that the pegboard is still up on this wall. That's all my pipe stuff. Here's all my crescent wrenches. Here's some files and Tremo railroad wrenches. There's a lot of weight on that panel right there. You actually see it's pulling away a little bit up there. Hey guys, we'll go for about another 10 minutes and then like all day. What are you guys working on? Oh, and Sean, I will make it to the scrapyard this week. I did not make it there this week to measure that tailstock for you. I need to go there and dig through their caster bin for some stuff. Oh, I do have a radio in here. It's on the wall way back there. When I actually first moved in here, the guy had, and you can see them, they're up here, they're cutouts for 6x9 car stereo speakers. And there's like 6 of them around, and he had a car stereo wired up to a inverter. The guy before me in this shop did performance diesel work in here. He built Nerf bars and roll cages and stuff like that. He had some cool stuff in the shop. It is chocolate clutter too. And then you plumb some. I listen to my radio here. I can hook to the Bluetooth, and I got a couple videos on my like YouTube videos I listen to all the time. I wish there was two different like buttons, if that makes sense. Because, I like as many videos as I can, but I re-listen to certain videos a lot. So, if you like every video you can, then that list gets huge very shortly. So, I guess I could put the ones I would do in the watch later file. Maybe I'll have to look into that. Because I mostly listen to YouTube in the background. Hey, sir, it's been going good. And my kids today, so we went to this big basalt. There's a lot of basalt in my area. They bored an old railroad tunnel, way back when, by the river and the dam. So we went there for a couple hours. Yeah, I have not sat down and watched a TV show in probably 4 or 5 years. I don't watch TV. When I get home, I come out here, I listen to YouTube stuff. Yep, definitely take your time with that stuff. I haven't done much with the helical gears. Yeah, I don't have a TV in my shop at all. Yeah, I listen to a lot of you guys, your guys' videos, and I like the old Mr. Pete yard sale videos. I re-listen to those a lot. I really like those machining training videos from like the 40s and 50s. I also watch a lot of YouTube videos on those old steam locomotive videos from that era, showing where they tear them down, repair them, and stuff like that. I like to watch stuff where I can learn something. Yeah. Yeah. I've been watching a lot of their stuff lately too. Like there was a something heritage channel, manufacturing heritage channel. They have a lot of old videos on how to tap and how to use a caliper and using the steel rule and stuff like that. Those are cool to have on in the background. Yeah, all the railway stuff I watch it's all British. Like that day in the life of the engineer guy and from the fact. Also, a lot I watch a lot of Fred Dibna videos. If you guys are not aware of who Fred Dibna is, he was a British guy. Uh, he was a steeplejack. He had his own steam uh, pavement roller. He's working on another steam engine. Very interesting guy. He has passed now from some time ago. But he would fell big factory chimneys by cutting the bases out of them, propping them up with wood, and setting them on fire. And yeah, big Fred Dibna fan. So definitely check him out if you aren't familiar with his stuff. it wasn't stuff he put out. It was, they made some TV shows and documentaries about him a number of years ago. So yeah, definitely interesting guy, cool guy to watch, especially if you don't like heights, to see the stuff he does. And I used to watch. He hasn't put out a video in probably 3 or 4 years. Michael Reggae. His channels are still up. His videos are still up, and I really enjoyed watching his videos. He was, unfortunately, there was a time on YouTube 5, 6 years ago. It seemed like if you did a welding job or a repair job, I mean, you could do nothing right. There were so many people, and thankfully that seems to have gone away. So many armchair welders and stuff, and he caught a lot of flack for the repairs he did. But obviously his customers were happy with him, and yeah, I rewatch a lot of his videos sometimes. I'd like to see him start posting again. And yeah. I haven't watched as many new videos probably in the last couple months as I should. I watch all your guys' stuff. I mean, as far as branching out, trying to find new stuff to watch, I feel I'm pretty full right now. Yeah. Especially welding videos. And okay, I do a lot of welding. I consider myself a very good welder. And we have some some of the farmers have their own welders that come in. I've never seen a welder compliment another welder's work. I'll tell you a funny story about that. One of my farmers has, I think, 30 circles. And they're all, out here we have crop circles. The sprinklers go in a big circle. And all these stations look exactly the same. So I was making the pad mounts for the motors, and I was coupling the motors to the pumps and all that. And he had his son, it was his buddy's son or something, he wanted him to do the welding. So I had him come in, weld into 90-degree elbows and some other stuff. I fit everything, and he welded. Then we painted them all, they're all painted blue. Well, we had to redo it. He wanted to upsize the pumps, he changed up the sprinkler package on me. So this was just like 3 months later. We called that guy out to the exact same circle where he welded everything. And I always like to go, oh yeah, what do you think about this one? And oh yeah, look at that. Mine's not gonna look anything like that. It's gonna look a lot better. It's like, you're the one who welded that. So I've met a lot of cool welders. So obviously, there's a lot of big-headed welders out there. That won't hold. That won't do nothing. I did get permission from 2 of my farmers they said they don't care if I film stuff that I'm doing out there for them. I did wear I think I mentioned this last week, I did take my phone on a job, and I had one of those chest things you put it in. Well, the thing about it is I instantly forgot it was on, so the whole video was like this. It was just arms in the way. So I'll either set up a tripod, or I don't know if a hat mount would work. We'll see. Yeah, they said they could not care less if I filmed. They know I treat them fairly, so we'll see some of that. There's some, if you want to see like sketchy wiring, I'll show you some of these guys' places on these farms out from the 50s and stuff. How they have their electrical rooms wired in. It's like you walk in, you're like, don't touch anything, don't brush against anything metal. So, show you some cool stuff. Plus, you had tractor fans would probably like to see what's some of these guys have. That's cool. There. Yeah, I have no problem filming their stuff in the shop. I just and not counting emergency rush jobs, of course. I just always feel like I have to give them 100% of my time while I'm there. And they said no, just treat They know I do this. So that's really cool. And one of the guys has a homemade bulldozer. I'll show that. You guys will get a kick out of that thing. It's like my buddy Cody at Hidden World Forge is building his own bulldozer, so you should check him out for sure. It's about the same size. It's like probably 4 foot wide and about 5 foot long. And it's got its inline 6 engine powering it, and some lawnmower hydraulic wheel motors. So let me show that to you guys. Okay, well, I think I'm going to call that a day. Again, I apologize for not doing this on StreamYard so I could have people on the panel. We will have that next week. I will get it figured out. So, yeah, very cool to talk to all you guys. I hope you guys all have an awesome rest of your weekend and week. And, yeah. Yep. Everyone, thank you for stopping by. Yeah. And we will catch you again. There'll be some videos this week, and I'll catch you again next Sunday. This is Adam, Small Town Machine Shop.